Okay, you should be able to hear me now. I got so focused on fixing my cameras, I forgot to fix my microphone. Hello, friends. I'm here. I'm gonna get to all these hydrates in a second. I desperately need them because I spent the last 20 minutes redoing all of my cameras because it's been so long since I used 2 cameras on OBS that nothing wanted to work. And Ghost Pepper was in here like, yeah, sometimes you just have to re-add all your sources. And I was like, great. I'm so thrilled. That makes me so happy. But here we are. It's working now. We've got a nice chill morning of crafts planned. Let me turn the music down ever so slightly. Oh gosh, I have it up way loud. Okay. Alright, let me know if sound balance is good. Let me know if you can hear me okay. Let me know if all the things are working. Dad, hello, hello. Here to lurk while my heating cooling unit is being worked on. I hope that it is not broken, and if it is broken, that they fix it quickly. Paint me like one of your French girls. Yeah, that's what we're here to do. Mad Lad, hello. Roaming Witch, hello. Pie, I see you with your pie hydrates. We will do those in a moment. Hello. What? What the heck? I ran ads at the beginning of stream so that it wouldn't do pre-rolls, and it's doing pre-rolls? This is butts! Butts! Hello! This is my current craft stitch project. Oh, Ghost Pepper! 28 months. He's been putting up with me for way longer than that. Thank you so much, my love. I don't see any ads. That's because you're subscribed, my dear. I had 4 before, but not any after. Yeah, if I run 3 minutes of ads, which I did. Oh, uh-huh. Oh, that must be the reason. If I run 3 minutes of ads, which I did, then it's not supposed to show pre-rolls for an hour. I very specifically ran pre-rolls so that it would not show, or ran ads so it wouldn't show pre-rolls. And it's still showing pre-rolls. Twitch, what the hell? How many hydrates have we got? We have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hydrates and a dad hydrate as well. Let's check our posture. Angel Faye, hello, hello. Roaming Witch, I'm so sorry. I ran ads so that it wouldn't do pre-rolls and it sounds like it still did. I'm so sorry. Welcome in. How are you? Twitch is owned by Amazon. Uh-huh. A 1. A 2. A 3. We've got 3 more to go. I basically just said I had to re-add all of my cameras because it's been so long since I used 2 cameras on Twitch. And also, WTF Twitch, why are you running pre-rolls when I when I tried to disable those? And now I'm gonna do the other 2 more hydrates and a dad hydrate. A 1. A 2. And 1 for dad. Pie, I know you're lurking, but I hope you're very pie today. We've got caramel coffee. We've got my current cross-stitch project. Let me see if I can get it fully into the camera here. Basically, I'm working on this lovely dragon. I have not started the wings, or you can kind of see the absence of a crescent moon. When it's finished, it's gonna look like this. So this is what we're doing. I have not done the wings or the moon. Basically, I'm gonna finish the main part of the dragon, and then I'm gonna take a break and work on a different project. This is how I do my cross-stitch projects, is like, those eyes were so perfect. This is how I do my cross-stitch projects, is like in chunks. So I'll do the moon and the wings separately. Isn't it gorgeous? It's huge. It's huge, enormous, like you can see. So I've got the body and the tail finished, and we're basically working on the head. Here's the... This chart is like something else, my friends. This is old school. But you can see, so I've gotten the lower portion done, and then we're working on the head bit today. We're gonna do a few strands of that. And then we're gonna organize some of my brand new threads that I got. I came so close to rage quitting the setup of this stream, you have no idea, but we're here now. We're gonna chill. This one also has beads. I've never done a cross stitch with beads before, so that's gonna be interesting. And I think this morning we're gonna work on, if I can get it on the camera, we're gonna work on this bit of horn up here to start. So, hell yes. It has been a while since Ghost Pepper got to see the Striker contingent, because Ghost is usually working when I'm streaming as well. Heavily working on an auto harp, but I'll see if I can sneak in some stitches on my project as well. Heck yeah, did you start the new one, Roaming Witch? I saw that you posted that you're gonna do, I think it's a fox next, and it looks gorgeous. Right now I prefer to be unemployed. As long as you're staying safe, Angel Faye, that's the most important thing. He be ghosting around. He be doing that. Unfortunately, you guys will see it will be upside down for you. I'm not gonna try to stitch upside down. It will be upside down for you guys. I guess I could flip the image, but I don't know if that would be super weird. Go ahead, play with your cameras more after you already screwed around with them. Can I, like, flip the image somehow? Can I, like, mirror it? Maybe I can't flip it. Maybe I don't know how to do that. Configure crossbar? What does that do? I pushed a button. Right click and transform. Craft cam. Oh yeah, okay. Flip vertical. Is that like super weird? My coffee looks like it's like my coffee is defying gravity. Which do you guys like better? Do you like being able to see the craft project in the proper direction, or do you prefer if gravity is the right way up? I've got like 5 leaves in. Nice. That looks like it's gonna be a like long-term project, Roaming Witch, for sure. Trying to write 5 different blurbs for my novel, and then I'll choose one. Oh, that's a good idea for how to do it. Correct gravity looks better. I think so too. I think being able to see the cross stitch like right way up is cool and all, but the fact that my coffee is just like hanging into I'm not sure if we want to be living in corrective gravity situation. So, lucky for me, this was a kit. This came all as a kit, so all of my threads are organized already in this nice little, I labeled them that they were already in this nice little organizer, and then I have written down here the corresponding like numbers to the colors so that I can easily find them. And you might be able to see, I've also, because this one didn't come pre-labeled, I've also labeled my my crossbar there, so like I know this is like 80 stitches up and then up to this is more important if it was in like 2 sheets, but that just helps me like identify like where I am on I can't get it into the camera very well. It just helps me like identify where I am on the cross stitch. So we are gonna do little diamond shape today, and that is number 13. That is this beautiful golden yellow color. And I have a teeny tiny bit of it left, but we're gonna do a full strand. Today. And so for anyone who doesn't know how you do cross stitch, I basically take this thread and I'm going to divide it into 2 of its component threads. So each thread has 6 threads. So I'm dividing this into 2 of its components. And then this is what we're going to use to make our stitches. And the rest of it goes back into the organizer for later. And then theoretically, because this is a kit, they've provided me with as much thread as I need. I usually have extra left over because of the way that I do my stitching, but I try to be very efficient. Each person does it their own way. I try to be very efficient with mine. And so we basically untangle that and set it aside for the next time we need a thread. How is everyone, by the way, today? Apparently nobody wants to work on these, so I'm slowly getting a reputation being the person to bring them to get fixed. Oh, interesting. So this is... Let me look. Oh, the auto harp. That's not what I was thinking. That is so cool. So you like restringing it, or is it like the gears that got broken? All right, we are going to thread the needle. Golly gee. All right. And we'll find our starting point. So if I want to be the most efficient about this, looking at my chart here to see the best way to go about this, but I think we're gonna go up. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Remember that, chat. We're going up 10. We're going up 10 spaces. I'm gonna try to lean over my desk a bit more than I usually do so that you guys can get this in here. Let me make sure I'm staying on camera while I do that. So I'm just trying to show like the process for anyone who doesn't like already know how it's done. I'm gonna try and catch that thread underneath my first few stitches to anchor it. Okay. Make sure I've caught it. Make sure I'm coming out the right side, and then I can pull that tight and it won't go anywhere. I try to get it in line so that it's really easy to catch. Probably made the tail a bit longer than I needed to, but that's okay. Some people try to make the underside of theirs look really nice. I just try to make the front look nice. I don't care so much about the back. Now this is gonna look really hilarious at first, because it's not gonna... We're making a horn for the dragon, but it's not gonna look like a horn. Hey, Diz is living! Now that I've gotten OBS working, everything's going great. We just got started on some crafting. Mostly do restrings, and the buttons are connected to a whole bar that has felts in strategic places that mute certain strings when depressed, so that when you strum it, it plays a chord. Oh, that's fascinating. They get worn and need replacing, which is what I'm doing now. Wonderfully tedious. Yes, sometimes I love myself just a nice, repetitive, easy task. So this is 6. We need to do 10. I lost my loop there. And go 10. And that's as high up as that horn goes. So we're going to come back down and do... Normally you do in rows. So normally you do the cross stitch in rows, but I'm doing this column because it just kind of goes up into nowhere. And then we'll come back down to our starting point. I count a lot. I like quadruple check my counting. Yes, I was hanging out with some friends yesterday who were playing the new Stardew update, and it looks like they added some cool stuff. They added a book collector. So I know that you can find books now and read them and get new abilities. And I think they added some like new types of farms. I don't know everything that they added. But it looks pretty cool. Makes me want to play Stardew again. I haven't played that game in a long time. Makes me want to date my sweet, sweet Elliot. He writes you a novel in 90 days. Alright, so now we have this ridiculous looking column just sticking up from our dragon's head. And then I like to mark off on my sheets that I have done those stitches so that I can very easily locate where I am. We're gonna work our way down towards the head. My new farmer is named Jack, and the first book he found was called Jack Be Nimble, Jack Be Thick. Nice! Yeah, I saw my friend who was playing found a book about monsters in the mines, and it was like a brown book with a face on it. He took it out of the ground. Nice! Yeah, I saw a couple of the books that the bookseller had, and I know there's one called Old Slitherlegs. I don't know what Old Slitherlegs does, but the fact that it exists makes me happy. if I get off camera here, just yell at me and let me know that I'm not showing you guys my stitches anymore. I hope everyone is having a fabulous week. I have been puzzling most of the week, which I am greatly enjoying. I am doing a Magic Puzzle Company puzzle, which means after I put the puzzle together initially, there will be a secret in the puzzle. The puzzle will shift and open a hole, and I'll get to get extra pieces and see what the secret is. And there is a cute little sentient mushroom in this puzzle that looks exactly like my Dahmer Grump emote, and I love him, and he is the cutest thing ever. I have dubbed him Dahmer in mushroom form, and it pleases me greatly that he exists. Jack is currently trying to Alex. Nice. Yeah, I think everybody has their favorite boo in Stardew. I know Ghost usually goes for Leia. Or Lay, however you say her name. And I usually go for Elliot because he's the sweetest sweet boo. He writes you a novel in 90 days, which is amazing. Mad Lad's week is going great. Good to hear it. Bought a new webcam after the old one died on me, and bought 2 new books. One is Skyward by Brandon Sanders, sorry. And the other one is The Selection by Kira Cass. Nice! The Mad Lad is on a 7-stream streak. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Appreciate you hanging out. I know there's no ducks today, but hopefully the excitement of seeing me use a needle and thread will make up for it. The thing about cross stitch is that you have to remember that, like, when you're doing the initial things, it doesn't look like much. Like, it just looks like a little line, but eventually it'll be a whole ass dragon. The question is, what I might want to do, might actually want to do this slightly differently. Finagle with it a bit. This is me trying to use my thread in the most efficient manner. I don't know how exciting you guys find this, but I spend literal hours of my day doing this. So basically just going to lay out a bunch of stitches because I want to come back to this point because I'm going to have to jump. No! What happened? Exiled Faye! Hello, hello. Just here to watch. Gotta keep on mute. Keep it on, if I can keep the thread on the thing this time. Kiki, hello, hello. Mystica Marshy, hello, hello. Oh my gosh, you know what? I just realized that I think I'm still in the writers category, and I think I need to change my category. Hang on. Whoops. Makers and crafting. There we go. Got so distracted by the fact that I had to re-add all of my cameras. I forgot to change my category. Mystical Marshy, how's it going? Usually rewrite on these streams. Today we are crafting. I am cross-stitching, absolutely. We are making a dragon. We are working on the head. I usually go for Lay or Haley, but I have a guy farmer this time, so I gotta stick with my gay couples. Alex is a whole self-discovery. Nice! Nice. Yeah, I'm always like, I'm gonna date someone else, but then I fall hardcore for Elliot again. My boyfriend used to do that. Nice! Yeah, I did it, I don't know, I kind of cross-stitched a lot in high school, and then I kind of stopped doing it for a while, and then during the pandemic I picked it up again, and it's like my zen space now. Reading this chart is sometimes challenging, but we are getting there. Like I said, I'm laying out a bunch of stitches because I want to come back to this point for when I do a jump, so to conserve my thread a bit. So we're just working our way down towards the jaw here. I usually hold it up more when I do it, so I'm trying to make sure I don't let it get too loose. Writing currently, but decided to open Twitch to have something to do also while I think of what to write. Nice! Well, you're in the right place. I'm glad that I was temporarily in the wrong category so that you found us. I write sci-fi and fantasy novels. Usually we do sprints, which, by the way, if anyone wants me to put on a sprint timer, please let me know. I can absolutely do that. I do still have my sprint timers on here and everything. We're just not running them today. Usually, I do writing sessions, and we have Plastic Duck Simulator running in the background to keep us company with cutie ducks while I work on my stuff. But today is just I'm taking this week off writing. I like to take, first of all, because writing is my full-time gig, I like to take vacations because I've been told I work too much. But also, I like to take breaks because it gets my muse going again. It gives my brain time, like while I'm doing other stuff, my brain is working on some problems that I have or some upcoming projects or whatever. And so when I get back to it, I find it's easier to fix things. If I've taken a little bit of a break and given my brain some time to sort of work at things. So that's basically what I'm doing. Basically what I'm doing this week. I've been doing a lot of puzzling. I've been doing a lot of crafting. I've been organizing my new thread, which we're going to do a little bit of later. So now we just have a bunch of these weird gold lines. Writing a story where his teenagers taken for having superpowers to turn into super soldiers, but one guy's younger brother gets taken, so he tries to find them and free them. Oh, that sounds like a very interesting story. Is it going to be like a novel? Is it going to be a novella? Like, do you have a length in mind, or are you just going to see how long it turns out? Inevitably, my stuff always ends up longer than I anticipate it's going to be, so how long it turns out? Well, nice! Good luck! I hope it goes well. Just making sure I got all these stitches in the right spot, but it looks like I do. Don't want to have to rip out later. It's much easier to rip out before I have anchored and cut the thread than it is to have to go back and rip out stitches and redo later, because then my thread is smaller. Oops. Every now and then I gotta lift it and let the spin get out of the thread, otherwise it gets weirdly tangled. if you guys are like, why does she lift it like that every now and then? It looks really funky right now, like, just because we're forming the initial outline of the head. The younger brother's name is Paisley, and he was born with a set of wings, so his mother hid him away to protect him, but he was discovered during a routine check, as they're called in my writing, freaks, and where he was normally able to hide, he was found. Oh no, poor Paisley. I imagine wings would be a pretty difficult thing to hide. Okay, now we gotta perform a maneuver that's gonna involve counting. Because the color that we're using sort of terminates here, but we have more thread. So we're gonna jump up to the next portion that has one, which is a little further than I like. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6 over. So 5 blank and then the 6th one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6th one. And then the second one. I think I'm not quite over far enough. I always count like 3 times. There we go. Counting, it turns out, can be much more complicated than it initially seems. The other freaksy meets are Maddie, Jesse, Jill, and Leon. What kind of powers do they have? You don't have to tell if you don't want to tell if anything is a secret, but I'm curious. So I don't think we're going to get all the way up this one, but there's essentially another horn here that we're sort of laying the groundwork for. If you guys are wondering, this is what I do when I finish my writing streams. I usually grab some lunch And then after lunch, this is what I do to sort of clear my head before I get back into the work, is I do some of this. You can kind of start to see a little bit of the shape of the head coming together. It's very, very fuzzy right now, but no, I tend to go until basically my thread is so small that I can't really get any more twisty turns in there. I think I can get one more stitch, and then we're gonna tie this one off. Can I do one more? Can I push it and get one more? Just have the best stopping point. That's what happens, is eventually your thread falls off your needle because it is too short. Sometimes when I really, really want to stretch the thread, I keep going until I basically can't get the thread in the needle anymore, but we're not going to do that. I'm just going to finagle one stitch here, and then we'll tie it off. There we go. Ooh. I guess I should show it to this camera. There we go. We got some horns started. And then we just slide the thread underneath a couple of already performed stitches so that it can't slide free. Come on, you bugger. Get under there. I do have a needle threader if I need it, but there we go. Perfect. Got my cute little crafting scissors, my peacocks. I bought these in honor of one of the characters in the Celestial Serenade, Salus, who is very, very, very fond of peacocks. A fishing book? Oh, nice! In Stardew. I don't know. So do you know, like, what... I know when you read the books, it says that you get a new power, but does it, like, tell you, like... Does it help you level up faster? Does it give you, like, extra abilities? Like, what do the books actually do? Maddie's power is she can superheat her body to the point she can nearly become a solar flare. That is fucking cool. Jessie can turn her body into any material her skin comes into contact with. That is also super cool. And Jill has the power to control liquids. Leon is able to heal any injury with just one touch. Those are all super cool. Jill makes me think of Alex Mack, The Secret World of Alex Mack. And she could turn herself into liquid. It just increases skills, like the Jack Be Thick one made him have higher defense. Oh, interesting! That's super cool. I am going to pop AFK for just 1 minute here. I will leave you with this beautiful vision of a dragon. I just need to reheat my coffee because it is getting cold, despite my warmer. I will be back. For everyone that may have been curious when I mentioned, I don't know if I can get the camera to focus. Maybe this one will focus better. From my puzzle, the cutest little mushroom boy. You can see right next to Grumpy Domerin, the cutest little grumpus that ever there was. If I can get it to focus. This one seems to do it better in my current puzzle. He's very displeased. Alright, and next, there's this big area that I haven't filled in yet on the neck. We're going to fill that in. So that is, what is that? Number 23. It's this color. So I'm using a fresh strand for this, so it's too long to reasonably work with, so we're going to trim it down. So when you buy kits, they come, the thread essentially comes in this size here. They can be slightly smaller if you're working with like a smaller canvas. They might sometimes be smaller. And then what you want to do is you want to take half that length to form your thread. So we're just going to chop this in half. Maddie is very calm because the more angry she becomes, the more her power takes effect. And Jill is very hot-headed. Yeah, I can imagine if you have, like, literal flames in your body. Getting angry might not be the best. And then, once again, we're going to pull 2 of the threads, of the component threads. And the rest for later. I've been I still have 3 books left in one of the projects that we work on here on stream is Everyone's Child. It's a high fantasy novel. It takes place in a secondary world, so a fully from my brain created world. And I still have 3 books of that left to write, but I'm sort of low-key planning my next side project. It's going to take place in the Celestial Serenade universe. So it's gonna be in the time gap between books 6 and 7, but early on in the time gap. So like right after book 6, when humans are sort of starting to move out into the galaxy. And the first book is gonna be called The Backwards Bar and Grill. And it's gonna be a sort of slice of life story. Winter Wren, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Peter, hello. You're here for the dragon. How's it going? It's gonna be kind of like a slice of life story, but that takes place in space. So I'm really looking forward to that. Jessie's not a big fan of people. She's shy and standoffish, and Leon is shy. That cares about everyone. I guess it makes sense that the healer would care about people. Peter, how's it going? What is up? What you doing, my friend? I picked the wrong side of this thread to put through the needle, apparently. Big sleeves, it's been absolutely wild in my head lately. Wild in a good way, or like... wild in a bad way? Just got in from a walk. What did you buy? Wild in a bad way? Oh no, Peter, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope things, in that case, I hope things settle down. So I don't have to, measure my stitches a lot here because I'm basically just following this pattern. Although I have to remember when I get up to there that not to fill in those 2. But a handful of Blu-rays and DVDs, some food, some cat food. Hey, no worries. I hope it's good food. Just let me... oh no. I've become entangled in my own thread. Just let me get the first stitch down here, and then I'll make sure you guys can see again. It requires effort to make. Fair. I'm actually cooking, like a real meal tonight. We've been having a lot of, which, I mean, I guess leftovers that I've made is a real meal too, but I'm actually gonna cook a casserole tonight. It's one that takes about, like, 30 minutes to throw together, and then, like, another 20 minutes or so in the oven, so... I was like, I've done a couple days of quick meals and leftovers and stuff, so today I'm gonna cook for realsies. So we're down here now, filling in this little hole. I don't know if I have that configured, the quote add thing. I think it might be quote add instead of add quote. Maybe I have to do it. I don't really know how it works. I haven't really... I didn't really configured any of that stuff, so like if it works by default, it works, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. I apologize. You might just have to clip it instead. Make sure I'm catching this. And under here. We're filling holes. Vinyl, how's it going? We are filling this this little hole here of color that is not filled in. Previously, I had my hoop in a position where I couldn't really keep going upward along this area, and I would have still had thread but run out of area to stitch. So now that I've moved up my hoop, we're finishing this little bit of neck, and then we'll basically just have the head bit and the like back spikes to finish. Also, Vinyl, how's it going? Have a little time before I drive my mom to the airport, so I wanted to say hi. It's good to see you. I hope you're having a fair morning. Fair morning? Fine morning, I meant to say, but whatever. I hope you're having a good morning. Vinyl is best to everyone ever. Absolutely. Vinyl bought some kale in my honor. Starboard kale. And I hope it's the most delicious... I hope it's the most delicious kale she's ever eaten when she gets to eat some of it. If not, I will be sad. It's a fair morning, just trying to do too many things at once. Oh, I know that feeling. I was late starting stream because I had to basically... I haven't used the second camera in a while, and I basically had to re-add all of my camera sources and remember how OBS actually functions with two cameras. And then I forgot to fix my microphone, so I was muted for the first couple minutes of stream. I'm excited to eat you, or rather your kale. Browse. I hope it grows well. We tried to do spinach a couple years ago and we didn't have much luck, but I think we have some raised planters and then we have some like low to the ground planters, and I think we would need to put them in the raised planters next time because when we did them low to the ground, the like animals got them, which is an unfortunate reality of gardening. Sometimes the wild animals will nibble at your leaves. Faints in Scottish. Somebody showed this conversation to Joe because he refuses to believe that I'm not innocent. He's like, oh, you're so innocent, or you were so innocent before you met me, and it's like, I grew up with Flutter. There was no innocence left by the time you met me. Making sure that's not knotted because it feels a little short, but nope, we're just getting point where the thread is getting a little shorter. I like it when I've like filled in most of the area and I can just go on autopilot and do a couple of stitches and I don't really have to count anything. Flutter, hello, hello. Nice to see you. Good luck at work. Thanks for dropping by. We were just talking about you and how Joe thinks that you're innocent. And I tried to explain to him that that's not the case, but he doesn't believe me. He's like, oh, I've met Flutter. She's so innocent. Right? I was like dying of laughter. I hope you have a good work day. I hope everything goes smoothly. And that you get many, many tips. Does Flutter have a twin? Lord, I hope not, because I don't think the world can handle two Flutters. That's like how they say antimatter and matter can't touch because they'll like explode. If there are two Flutters and they meet, I don't know if the world can handle what would happen. You can talk about whatever details you'd like, Mystical. I mean, usually we talk about writing and oh, that's gonna be singing while I'm talking. Skip that song. Usually we talk about like writing and craft and all that kind of stuff. We can talk about that kind of stuff today still. I'm just not actually writing today. So we can go off on all the usual tangents. We just don't have to stop and be productive necessarily, because I can talk and craft at the same time. When I'm writing, I have to do focus in order to get things done. Oh, that wasn't exactly what I meant to do, but that's fine. Take care, Flutter! I am willing to be the world and try handling two Flutters. Godspeed, Peter, Godspeed. I'm being thirsty on Maine. This is not the time for thirst. That's on Saturday night with Woof. Yes, come with your thirst. I finished dating all the ghosts on Saturday, so next Saturday, this coming Saturday, we're gonna date death. Because I have a free-to-play game called A Date with Death that we're going to play. So we're gonna see if we can get the Grim Reaper to date us. Ghost Pepper, what are you up to down there in your little Pepper Palace? I don't think you think of it that way, but that's what I'm calling it from now on. How are things going down in the Pepper Palace? Did I double stitch that? I did. something on TikTok. It was like shower thoughts thing, and they pointed out that every year we pass the anniversary of our deaths without even knowing it. Well, I mean, is it the anniversary of your... It's like... Isn't it not an anniversary until it happens? Like, wouldn't it be like the pre-versary? The Pepper Palace! Come on! Do you really want to call it the laundry room? That's so boring. The Pepper Palace. I mean, I just have an office, but you have a whole palace. Maddie is considered the most dangerous. Is she the one with the fire? I would understand that. Peter Piper prodding through a pickled pepper patch, poking his penis through a piece of paper? That doesn't sound, pleasant or productive. Peter, he taught you that version of Peter Piper? Why am I not surprised, actually? Given where you're from. Oh, Peter, how do you properly pronounce Glasgow? We were having a conversation about this last week, and I don't think you were here. I say it Glasgow, but I was told that that's not how the locals pronounce it. So, how do you say it? How is it properly spoken in the region? That's incredibly not how to pronounce it. Educate me. Educate me. Steven Stuff, hello, hello! You're just in time for us to ask Peter how to say Glasgow. Yeah, it's like I summoned you with the question. It's okay, Peter's here today. He's gonna teach us the proper way to say it. So our hole has shrunk as we add this in. It's actually darker than the other color. Am I using the right one? I don't think I'm using the right color. I'd have to rip that all out. I'm using the wrong one. I 100% am using the wrong color. Guess what, guys? We get to redo everything we just did. All that 20 minutes of whatever I just did, I get to rip that out and do it all over again. Glasgow? The glass part is pronounced like ass, glass, okay, and the ow part... So you don't do it like Glasgow? Oh, if you're from Glasgow, you say Glasgow or Glasgow. If you're from England, you pronounce it, ow, my nose is broken. It is a mug warmer. My mug is a bit tall, so it doesn't... It's more efficient once I drink some of it. Hey, Rune Wolf! So Glasgow without the W. When we went to Edinburgh, the way Megan pronounced it, I thought we were gonna... I didn't say it in Edinburgh. I didn't say it wrong. You corrected me before we got there. Listen, I had never heard it pronounced. Now we get to live the joy of ripping out stitches. Luckily, I realized it was the wrong color before I tied it off. I was like, this is blending a little too nicely. It's like it's matching the color next to it a little too much. Should surely be darker. Sometimes the colors are that close, but this time I just grabbed the wrong color. I'm not sure how I did that. Because I looked at the right one, but I guess I just grabbed the wrong one. Sometimes this is the cross-stitch life. You do a bunch of work and then you realize, oh shit, I get to redo all of that work that I just did. And this is fun because it blends in with all the stitches next to it, so I have to guess which ones I'm ripping out. So much fun. We're unfilling this wee hole that we filled. We should be getting close to... Should be getting close to the beginning. Hopefully. No, don't start fraying on me now. Behave. Gotta be careful here because I want to save this thread to use later. So I'm trying to pull it cleanly through without fraying the thread so that I can just use it again next time where it's actually supposed to go. There we go. There we go. We've undone what we've done. Fucking Ghost is outing me about a mistake that I made of reading a sign as it was spelled in a country that is not my native country. Like, come on. If you've never heard a word spoken, you don't automatically know how to pronounce it. Don't shame people for that shit. Ghost over here in my own chat being a jerk. Alright, we've got that back in the proper color. I really enjoy writing, but I easily get writer's block sometimes. Burnout is a thing you gotta be careful to avoid. That's why I'm taking a break this week. What is it about the sci-fi genre that you like so much? What inspired you to set your books in outer space? That's a good question. I live in Worcestershire, so... which I've just said horribly wrong, I'm sure, so I at least had some practice. Isn't it like Worcestershire? You're not supposed to do the Shire part. I already addressed what? You calling me out for not being able to pronounce something that was written on a sign in a country that I didn't live in originally? So what is it that I like about sci-fi that made me set my stuff in outer space? First, my first love was outer space. I was really into astronomy when I was a kid. I was the kid with, like, the book that was falling apart that had all of the, like, information about planets and, like, meteors and, like, the asteroid belt. Like, that was me. I had this little home planetary thing that I could, like, project the constellations into, like, onto my ceiling when it was night. And I could do, like, little planetary presentations and find, like, all the constellations. So, first of all, I just really like space. It's the part of science that really speaks to me. I love space. The other reason is I really like Star Trek. I'm a huge Star Trek nerd. I really like the positive outlook sci-fi. Like, I really like the idea of that if we all get over our differences and someday realize that we're all people and we're all stuck on this planet together. That we might be able to build amazing things and go amazing places and discover really cool stuff. So I like that optimistic sci-fi. I really like that, you know, working together to create something narrative. And so I like to write stories that are like that. I like to inspire people in the way that I've been inspired. I like to imagine a brighter future, and I like to write about a brighter future. So I tend not to write hard sci-fi because I don't... I know some about space travel. Now we've got the right color. We've definitely got the right contrast here. I know some about space travel. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I don't know, all the physics stuff. So, I tend not to write hard sci-fi. I tend to write more narrative-driven sci-fi. Um, where the technology is just kind of in the background. Like I wouldn't be competing with The Expanse, which is very hard sci-fi based on a lot of real-world science and explains a lot of how its technology works and sticks to like the real-world workings of that kind of stuff. I don't quite have the brain for that, but I do like the tone of sci-fi. I especially like space opera, which has a vast sweeping setting but focuses a lot on character narrative. Celestial Serenade is a space opera for that reason. I basically like to give my characters a problem and see how they deal with it. See what comes of it and see where they go. And I think that I think that using sci-fi as a backdrop for a slice of life story makes it that much more interesting, because you have to account for the survival aspects, you have to account for the things that can potentially go wrong when you're living in a giant sealed container. And there's also the people element, which is, the thing that I like the most about sci-fi in general is, in a situation where your survival depends on people being able to cooperate. How does that change the situation, and how does that change people's behavior, and how does that change their, outlook? And so I like having that extra added element of, people are people everywhere they go, but sometimes the situation changes the perspective and makes people think about things a little bit more. So that's why I write sci-fi. That was very nerdy. Sorry to interrupt the pronunciation conversation happening in the chat. Ghost and I did get a little bit of an education about pronouncing British town names when we were living over there. I think he got more of a hang of it than I did, because he was actually interacting with a lot more people than I was. Like, I was working from home, obviously, still at that time, doing writing stuff. And he was, talking to his coworkers and talking to his students every day. So I think he got a lot more of the crash course of, like, here's how these letter combos are supposed to work. Like, if you see this on a sign, then these are the letters that you pronounce. And these are the bits that you leave silent. But I think until you, like, live in a place, I don't think you really pick up, like, the speaking habits of a place until you live there long term. Like, when you see Toronto on a map, you pronounce it Toronto, but if you live there, people just call it Toronto. You don't really say the second T. This is looking much better this time. Almost caught up back to where we were. I don't know how I managed to grab the wrong color. It happens sometimes. I'm glad I caught that, because I don't know, if I hadn't caught that now, I might never have noticed. And it did look a little awkward with the shading just kind of vanishing. Would have been much harder to figure out where my stitches were if I had forgotten about them for like a month and then come back to it and been like, oh no, it's the wrong color. I dare you to, oh my goodness. I very specifically did not say some of these because I know I'm gonna say them wrong. A drushig. Why do you put the first R there if it's silent? A drushig. That is 100% how you pronounce Airdrie, so task failed successfully. Some random person just texted me to say, I have a part-time online job for you? No, thank you? How did you get my phone number? Yeah, I was just thinking about Mississauga. If you see it spelled out, it's really... Well, I grew up in the Susquehanna Valley, and that one's a doozy too if you see it spelled out. I don't know the first one. I don't know the first couple. I know Etobicoke, Iqaluit, Nanaimo. I'm assuming it's not Antigonish, which is what it looks like. Is it just Sawanson? You're gonna have to tell me a few of these. You might have to come upstairs and say a couple of these. Antigonish? I mean, you can try to get me to say them, but I have a feeling you're gonna be sitting down there chuckling, because I'm not always good at, even with the... Come up from your pepper palace. Oh, I hear him. He came! Okay. We summoned him! Okay.
I better make sure I get these right, now that I've embarrassed myself. Antigonish.
Antigonish, okay.
Is easy. Sawasan.
So it is Sawasan, okay.
Sawasan, yeah.
Etobicoke.
Etobicoke. That one's a trap.
Yeah, because it looks like...
It looks easy, but it's Etobicoke.
Yeah.
Iqaluit.
Iqaluit.
Ucluelet.
Ucluelet, okay.
Yep.
So I was thinking that one was probably close to Iqaluit, but...
And then that's Ganinike.
Ganinike, okay.
Yeah. There's the right way, there's the wrong way, and then there's the Ganinike.
The Ganinike, okay.
Yeah. Forget.
Forget is what I was thinking.
Yeah, it's Forget.
And Nanaimo.
And Nanaimo.
Dang.
And Nanaimo's easy for Canadians because we have like Nanaimo bars. It's like
right.
dessert, but most people don't know that.
Thank you. Thank you for the pronunciation lesson. That was my husband, Ghost Pepper. The fabulous and wonderful Ghost Pepper. Alright, we have caught back up to where we were 20 minutes ago. With the right color this time. We did it. Much better. This looks much better this time. Much more consistent. I'm glad I looked at that and was like, wait a minute. Sometimes when you do these, you go on autopilot and you just don't think to check. But there we go. We're looking a lot more contrasty this time. Alright, I am going to take a quick break and run to the washroom. When I get back, we will finish this strand, which I don't think will take too long now that I'm using the right color. And then we're going to do some organization of my new threads, which I'm looking forward to. So I will be right back. I'm back! Oop. It did not pop up that song title on the screen, so mystery song. Alright. Now I just have to remember not to fill in these little holes on this one because those are for beads. So I have to leave those for beads. keep forgetting I have to pull my chair closer. I'm like leaning super far away. Make sure I don't actually accidentally catch the rest of my canvas underneath there with the needle, or I would be sewing it to itself. Would not be good. Oops. So these little holes here, I have to leave these for the beads. So you don't want to fill those in. This is the first time I've ever done a cross stitch with beads, so it's been interesting leaving the spaces for them later. I'm planning to do them last because I don't want them to get caught in the hoop. And you have to move the hoop around quite a lot when you're doing the main portion. So I'm worried if I do the beads early in the process, they'll get caught in the hoop and get torn out and I'll have to redo them. So I'm gonna do those last, but it means that I have all these little, because you can see them all in the tail as well. There's all these little like white spots that just didn't get filled in because they will get beads in them later. And I'm not used to doing that. So it's been an interesting experience remembering to leave spaces for the beads. I hear Ghost Pepper in the kitchen. He left his pepper palace. I'm gonna call it the Pepper Palace forever now. I guess technically the whole house could be the Pepper Palace, but the Pepper Palace is Ghost's domain. So this is another bead space. I don't know if you can see my needle. This is another bead space here. Getting too small. We might have to wrap this thread up here. It's getting to the point where I can it's not the best spot to end a thread, but that's where we are. I'm so glad I caught that I used the wrong color before I got to the end of the other one. And there we go. Filled in that little neck bit. There we go. So we just did this little bit along here. And you can start to see the head coming together. Very pleased. I was hoping to get a little further with that strand, but that's okay. Sometimes it's hard to gauge. So there we go. That's where we are currently. A couple of extra strands added. The head looks kind of hilarious right now because it's just got the little first bits filled in. And this part looks very random without the head. Yeah, I like how it's coming together. I mean, all of it looked wonky before it got filled in, so. Now, very exciting, I'm going to show you guys what I've been otherwise working on this break. Ta-da! Everyone else is going to be like, this is not exciting. This is just me geeking out. So, this was my original collection of threads. Like, this was how many colors I had available to me. You'll notice that it's mostly pink and yellow. Because those were not popular colors for middle school me to make use of. And then I have some blacks in here because I bought a lot of black thread. But if I am going to be doing custom projects, I'm going to need much, much more. So I bought a pack of threads. Yeah, so now I bought 150 new colors. So I still have the browns in here. But I have pulled out, so these are like the white and black and neutral colors in here. And then we have the pinks in here. And we've got the turquoises in here. Hell yeah. We've got the greens, the blues, and the purples in here as well. These are very, like, preliminarily sorted. And what I am doing is slowly sorting them into here. So you can see that I've already finished the red, the orange, and the yellow. So we're gonna start getting into the greens. And I'm basically putting them all onto these little spools and putting them in here so that when I'm like, I need this color for my next project, I can go in, and if I don't have that specific, you'll notice that each of them have a number. If I don't have that specific number, then I can just pick a color that is close to that. I haven't found matches for when I compared my reds to these reds, I didn't find exact matches. So I haven't figured out exactly what I'm doing with the old colors. But I like your oh hello, because that was exactly how I felt when I opened this new pack. So yeah, we're gonna spend a little bit of time rolling our threads into new spools and putting them in here. So I have organized the greens into like the order. So I'm kind of trying to move through the shades. So you can see we went from red to orange to yellow. And now we're going to go from yellow into green. So I have like my really yellowy green ones. So what I do, I need to do that with my leftover thread for my last project. I think I'm gonna need a second bin because the one I have is overflowing. Yeah, I have my scraps waiting to be organized as well. But I was just like, if I'm gonna start doing custom projects, then, like, I need to have colors, like, to use. So I want to try to get the thread that isn't going to instantly. So I'm basically taking this, which is like how they come, and I'm rolling them onto these. Very exciting. Aren't you all so glad that I decided to stream me doing this? I don't know if this is how you're supposed to start it, but I start it like this. Just catch the little end, and then I'm rolling them very meticulously because I want them to be as flat as possible. Because I'm trying to fit, I have 150 to fit, and I don't think they're all going to fit. I don't think they're all going to fit in this one container. I think I'm going to have to, do some in these other containers. A website called Pick2Pat. You can have it make patterns for you for free. Yes, you absolutely can. Let me load that up. Because I've been looking for ways. I want to start doing custom patterns, and I've been looking for ways that I can do that in the future. Because so far I've only done kits, and from there I'm moving into patterns that people have like pre-made and tested and put on Etsy. But after I do a few of those, after I get the hang of like, okay, here's how I choose my own colors, and here's how I like prepare my own cloth and all that. I did not end up choosing the one that's not going to get tangled. After I do that, then I want to start doing my own custom patterns. Because I have a couple of pictures that I would really like to turn into. I'd love to do cross stitches of my characters from my books. Like, I'd love to do some stuff that is like related to my own books and stuff. So I am definitely trying to build up to doing like my own custom pictures. You could do this like super quickly. You wouldn't have to do it as slowly and meticulously as I'm doing it. But like I said, I'm trying to keep them as flat as possible. Because I want to fit as many as I possibly can into a single compartment. And I've managed to tangle these, so I'm just going to very gently untangle. Probably gonna have to work from the back end if I can find it. What have I done? What have I done? There it is. There's the back end. I'm never sure which is the best side to start with. Some of them come out really easily, and some of them just do this. So I'm just gonna gently pull through from the back end, hopefully without unwinding what I've already done, and then we will have, I think it's clear now. This is a color that, like, just looking at it, I can't see myself using very often. But I'm sure there will be a pattern someday that will be like, you need, like, a color like this. And I'll be like, oh, yeah. I have that color. I was just going to get the 100 pack of colors, because honestly, it probably would have been enough. But then, I looked at it, hang on. was looking at prices on Amazon, and it was like $2 more for the 150 pack, and I was like, well, if I buy these as like individual colors, I know I was looking at the right side. If I buy these as individual colors at Michael's, they're like $3 a pop. So $2 for like 50 extra colors. I know that's girl math, but it was some good girl math. And theoretically, because I have so many colors and shades, I can get through a fair number of projects before I start needing to buy like individual like refills, theoretically. Oh no, look at this! What have I done? There's a knot. Oh no, what have I done? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. No, don't double knot. Steve. This is why I don't usually do this on camera. Alright, this should do it. Last loop. They're not all this big a pain in the butt, but... Sorry, I'm sure this is like as exciting as watching paint dry. I find it exciting, which is why I'm doing it. I mean, I'm also doing it because it needs to be done. But I hope this isn't like terribly boring. I always worry that my streams are like not that exciting. At least with the cross stitch, you actually get to see it like coming together. Happily vibing, that's the most important thing. Like, if y'all are enjoying yourselves, that's the most important thing. If people like this sort of thing, I can try to do more of it in the future. It doesn't fit into my, like, regular working schedule, but I could certainly try to make it happen. Of course, I won't be organizing threads forever. I assume at some point I will get to a point where I've finished with with this particular part. I also find that the lighter shades, so like these, seem more prone to tangling. Gina Stark, hello, hello. How's it going? Doing good. Just organizing. I just bought a bunch of, I just bought a big 150 pack of new thread colors for future cross-stitch projects. And I'm trying to get some of them organized into this nice big organizer here. We were working on cross-stitch for a bit, and now I'm gonna get a couple of these threads done, hopefully. Normally I do writing streams. Mostly I do writing streams, but I am off writing this week. So we are doing craft stuff instead. My other passion. Just gonna close this for a minute so that I can make a label. Luckily, I've got my tiny scissors, my crafting scissors. Must try not to jab myself with because they are very sharp. And then we've got 165. And my plan is to basically run them down and back up again. Heck yeah. Gina, are you working on anything today? And we've got our next shade up of yellow-green. So I'm basically going from like yellow-green to blue-green. And then we'll have like the turquoise shades in between the green and the blue. And then we'll have the blues and then the purples. I guess I could go from purple to pink. I was gonna go purple to brown, but I could go purple to pink. Let's see if this one unwinds a bit easier for us. Working on a 27.6 by 33.9 inch diamond painting of Game of Thrones. That sounds amazing! But also a lot, that sounds like a lot of work. I've not tried diamond painting, but I've watched other people do it. And it seems very chill. Very chill in the same way that, like, cross-stitching is chill for me. I saw on Amazon you can get a little, like, spinny thing that will do this really fast, but I was like, I don't mind doing it by hand, especially since I want them to be as flat as possible. But there's lots of ingenious little craft gadgets out there. In my opinion, it is a form of cross-stitch because cross-stitch pattern can be turned into a diamond painting. That's very true. I see, whenever I search for, like, cross-stitch kits and stuff on Amazon, I get a lot of diamond paintings come up as well. I haven't tried one. There's been a few that have really tempted me. Because there are some very, very gorgeous patterns. My brain is malfunctioning. Does this sentence make sense? In response to my character saying, I'm going to do this. Not with them on your tail, you're not? Yeah, that makes sense. They're saying, essentially, you are being tailed, so you shouldn't do that right now. That makes perfect sense. Although I know that feeling of, I have stared at this sentence for so long that words have ceased to have meaning. I no longer know. If you're new to diamond paint, I recommend looking at Diamond Art Club on Amazon. They have licensed kits. Oh, thank you for letting me know. I will 100% do that. When you're starting something new for the first time, it's hard to know where to look. And that's the other reason why I haven't gone in for any diamond paintings is, like, I know how to look at a cross-stitch pattern and be like, that's probably not gonna look the way the, like, artistic image is telling me it's gonna look. I don't so much know with diamond paintings how to tell because I'm less familiar with them, so knowing where to start is really helpful. Thank you. The you're not at the end sounds right, but also doesn't. No, it's right. And it's the right you're as well. You are not. Not with them on your tail, you are not going to do that. You're basically just leaving out... It's shorthand, right? You're leaving out some words, but it's dialogue, so you can do that. You can get away with stuff in dialogue that you wouldn't get away with in, like... That you wouldn't do in narrative. I trust you. I appreciate that. No, I 100%. If you like walk away from that and come back and read it tomorrow, it'll make sense. I promise. And honestly, if you really don't like it, like if it's not striking your brain as the way you want it to go, you can always change it during edits, but it does make sense. It's not wrong. Jaded Gem Shop. She has some cross-stitch conversion kit. Oh, nice! Is that on Amazon or is that like on Etsy? I am relatively new to plumbing the depths of Etsy, but I am learning that there are a lot of really cool craft things on there. On her own website. Okay, let me look that up so that I have it. Jaded Gem Shop. .com. Oh gosh. She has some really gorgeous stuff on her main page. Cross-stitch conversions. Oh, this is very cool. Cross-stitch conversion quote. Oh, interesting. Okay. Very cool. Oh, interesting. She has like a chart for conversion. Very cool. Well, thank you for this. I appreciate this. I'm getting tons of good resources today. Her diamond paintings are just absolutely gorgeous. Like, these are so detailed. Bad at enabling for diamond painting? Hey, I appreciate it because I have not, like, I've looked at diamond painting, but I'm always like, I don't really know where to start with that. So I appreciate it. Especially knowing as well that, like, diamond painting patterns and cross-stitch patterns convert so well because, like I said, I've seen a lot of really nice diamond painting patterns that I've been like, And one of the main reasons why I bought all of this new thread and stuff is because I want to start doing custom projects. So now is the time to start looking at all that stuff and see people who have already figured that stuff out, for sure. Gonna go crazy. My sister just came in my room, commented how hot it is, and said I should open the door. I said I don't like the door open. When she left the door open. Oh no! I feel you. I used to not really like leaving my door open either. But it gets so stuffy in here in the summer if I close the door. But like, I cannot sleep with my door open. I like having an enclosed space. Yeah, if you want it closed, she should respect that for sure. I 100% understand. I've learned to kind of be okay with open doors during the day, but not at night for sure. This is gonna sound really weird, but I like to position our bed in our bedroom, one, so that I can see the door, and two, so that I'm like on the far side away from the door. We've only lived in one place where I couldn't get my side of the bed to be away from the door, like the opposite side from the door, and it weirded me out a bit. But I like to have the other side of the bed. Basically, I like to have my husband between me and the door. It just makes me more comfortable. I was the same way when I lived with my parents, but I had to leave it ever so slightly open so my cat could come in and out. If it was shut, she'd bang it out nonstop. Oh no! But I understand. Kitty want to roam free. Gina, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate. I used to be not so okay with, like, darkness either. I used to have, like, I hesitate to call it a night light, but I had, like, a specific lamp that was, like, designed so that it would disperse light, like, so it was very, very dim. And I, for a very long time, could not sleep without a light of some kind. In our bedroom, but I've kind of learned to appreciate darkness more as time has gone on. Oh no, did I throw out my label for this one before I labeled it? Oh no! This one's 65. What have I done? Okay. 3078 we have. Might be this one. Okay. Phew! Crisis averted. Alright. Remember to label them before I get rid of my identifiers. Go on autopilot. Three, 8, 1, 9. There we go. Huzzah. My mom's that way. She has a warmer that has a design on a light. Yes. Like I used to have, for a while I had like a little blue light that had like dolphins on it, which I really appreciated, but then it eventually died and there was no way to replace the bulb. So I just did like a sort of lantern thing that diffused light. Now I've sort of learned to appreciate like blocking curtains, but there was a time in my life where I couldn't sleep in total darkness. Peter, welcome back! Were you here when Ghost Pepper came up from the Pepper Palace to do pronunciations for us? Lurking while I shave my dog. Good luck. I hope Doggo cooperates. Oh no! Ghost Pepper came up from the Pepper Palace to pronounce some Canadian words for us. Never sure which thread is gonna be the more cooperative one. Maybe this one. Nope. I've like instantly tangled myself in this green thread. Do you have food now, Peter? Were you making some foods? Is that why you went AFK? So our first two were very yellow, but this one is very much, we're definitely into the greens now. Yellow is not a favorite color of mine. I'm not a huge fan of yellow. But I do like green. When I was very young, green was my favorite color. But blue has sort of taken over. Was considering food, but no food happened, so I actually need to heck off and get some food at some point. Hey, no worries, Peter. You gotta eat. It's pretty late where you are, isn't it? Like... Isn't it like 9 o'clock at night? Oh, maybe it's a little earlier because you guys haven't changed your clocks yet, have you? Half 8. When do you guys change your clocks? Do you wait until the end of the month? Like, are you changing them on, like, Easter weekend? We normally do ours a week after. So we did ours... Oh, maybe you guys have changed them then. Because we changed ours a week and a half ago. But I don't know the mechanics of the clock change. I just hate it. I just know because Google tells me when it's time. There's a little flag on Google Calendar that's like, the clock's change. Well, it says daylight saving time starts or ends. But then I see that and I'm like, oh great, it's time for that again. This nonsense. They don't change until the end of the month, seems. Yeah, so there's only 7 hours between us at the moment instead of 8, I think. Saving and not savings. Honestly, I just hate it. I think we should just pick a time and stick to it. I don't care which, just pick one and stop changing the clock. Going back an hour doesn't mess me up as much as going forward an hour, but I hate it. I hate it. Last year, somebody posted a TikTok video of, they had like one of those little buttons that when you press it, it like says something. And it was, the recording on the button was outside, and it was like the people had it set up for their dog so that their dog could like push the button when he wanted to go outside. And it was after the time change where it's an hour earlier instead of an hour later, and the dog wanted to go to the dog park, but it was too early. He was like an hour early because the time had changed, and he was just really forlornly pushing the button, so it just kept saying outside, outside. And their owner kept being like, it's not time yet, buddy. It's just... And I was like, why do we change the clocks? It makes dogs sad. Why do we make dogs sad? I just hate it because I know I literally already had this rant on stream a week ago. Like, almost exactly a week ago. I just hate it because it's pointless. Changing the time doesn't really serve any purpose in the modern world. I mean, it never really solved a purpose. It never really solved a purpose anyway. All of the purposes that have been sold to us as reasons why we changed the clocks were not the real reasons we changed the clocks anyway. And there's so many, like, state legislations that have proposed like getting rid of the time change, and there's like so many Canadian provinces that have proposed getting rid of the time change that I'm like, why do we still do this? It makes everybody miserable. Why don't we just stop? Why don't we just not do it anymore? Why don't we just pick a time and stick to it? I don't care if it's standard time. I don't care if it's saving time. I don't care. A lot of people have always said, like, oh, daylight saving time is better because it stays light longer. And it's like, sure, fine. Like, I don't care. I just don't want to change my clock anymore. I thought in the US they were getting rid of it. Well, here's the thing, is they keep saying they're going to get rid of it, but it keeps getting stuck in the legislation. Like, there are like 2 different bills in Congress right now. I think one of them got past the House, but never like got heard by the Senate or something. I just end the madness. I'm asking that as well, like, what the fuck happened? Yeah, it's like, in BC, here in British Columbia, in, like, 2017, they were like, we're not gonna change the clocks anymore. We're gonna stick to one time. And then they were like, oh, wait, we should really wait until, like, Washington and Oregon don't change their clocks. And it's like... And California. So it's like we're now waiting on Washington, Oregon, and California to all agree that they don't want to change their clocks anymore. And I'm like, just end the madness. Just end it. Just put us out of our misery. Why are we doing this? Why are we like this? What do politicians and penguins have in common? They can all shove their bills up their asses. I mean, I feel like they don't even do that. Like... They just ignore them. But it's like the most agreed on, like, I know I'm not gonna get into, like, the political climate in any country right now because that feels like a minefield. But if you do just a tiny bit of, like, research on the clock changing, like, it is the most agreed upon thing that, like, it's bad for health. It's, like, it doesn't really benefit businesses. It doesn't really benefit farmers. Like, it doesn't really benefit anyone. It's, like, the most universally agreed thing is that everybody wants to stop changing the clocks, so why are we still changing them? It's, like, the one thing in the world we all agree is a bad idea, and yet we're still doing it. We're still doing it. It's like that song where the lyrics are like, I step outside and I scream real loud and I'm like, what is going on? Like, that's how I feel whenever we have to change the clocks. Is I want to step outside and just scream, why are we still doing this? I don't, because my neighbors would be like, who is this crazy woman that lives down the street from me? I don't think I would be very popular, but I'm just like, why is this a thing? It's like the only universal thing about humans is that we're good at tormenting ourselves and each other. I think I hear Ghost Pepper in the kitchen, so I think he's getting ready to start his stream. We might actually... I know it won't be a crafting stream, but we might actually throw to Ghost Pepper when we're done today, because he and I are very rarely around at the same time. He usually works when I'm streaming, but he is on break right now, so we will possibly throw to him when we are done. I think it'll be the opposite of a chill craft vibe, but there's your warning that there might be. I forgot to ask what they're playing. I think it might be Helldivers. It might be Helldivers. It might be... I guess it could be Lethal Company, but I think Helldivers is the one that he's been doing a lot of lately. Helldivers, Bard Owl, hello! How's it going? Did they start already? Is he already up and going? I told him that we might, if we overlapped enough, that I might raid him, so... Zark, hello! How's it going? Speaking of Torment, I spent hours last week watching episodes of Jerry Springer. Why? This is an absolute shit show, and I really don't like exploitative television like that, but Jerry fits in the nostalgic factor. My grandmother used to watch the Maury Povich show for the longest time, and it was basically the same. Like, it eventually was basically the same as Jerry Springer. And it's like, are you the father? The test says you are the father. They were always the father. The person who they didn't want to be the father was always the father. And the person who was, like, an actual, like, well-adjusted, Ooh, I got a little bit of ink on that one. The person who is actually, like, a well-adjusted, capable father figure raising the child was inevitably never the father. That was how it always went. I got the live notification a moment ago. Nice. Well, thanks for letting us know. Also, how you doing, Bard and Zark? How's it going? Mari wishes he could be Jerry. I think that Maury Povich started doing the Jerry Springer stuff because it brought in ratings. I never got into Jerry Springer. Like, that kind of stuff, again, it's very exploitative, and I never enjoyed seeing people's lives be a train wreck for any reason, and I always hated that people, like, banked off of that. Alright. Attempting to update my stream before I go live as well. Nice! Are you going to be playing Helldivers too, Zark? I've been up since 3 this morning, so I'm about to take a little nap before our potential hang later. Nice! Why were you up till 3 in the morning, Bard? Were you playing, Stardew? I hope it was a good I stayed up till 3 a.m. and not, like, a bad I stayed up till 3 a.m. But it's nice to see you, and I'm hoping that we will get more time to hang out later. I promised I would cook an actual dinner tonight, so it'll probably be after dinner, but... I've been alive for 13,838 days, and I have yet to marry Avril Lavigne. Okay. Man, I'm afraid to know how many days I've been alive. I feel like it's such a number. Also, how do you know that? Did you, like, Google that? Might play Helldivers 2, might play Inscription or something. Ooh, nice. Not until 3, since 3. Oh, right. Since 3. Woke up at 3 and couldn't get back to sleep. I see. I did read that in reverse. I read that you were up till 3 in the morning, not that you woke up at 3. Well, I'm sorry to hear that you weren't able to sleep. I hope you get a restful nap. Oh no. Okay. Enter your birthday. June 1st, 1980, that one. Oh my god. Okay, you have been alive for 14,172 days. 1980, that one, yeah. Sometime in the 1980s. If your birthday starts with a 2000, get out of here. Get off my lawn. No, don't get out of here, but get off my lawn for sure. I'm at least a whole day. Well, apparently I'm quite a few, because I'm 14,172 and you're 13,838. 20,000 days and counting. I built this calculator so you can find out how many days you've been on this earth. So wait, I will have been on this earth for 20,000 days in 2040. I don't really want to think about 2040 right now. Sunday, March 4th, 2040 will be my 20,000th day. I've been here for 12,248 days, or 49 days. Nice! I'm just trying to get through 2024. I know, right? I don't want to think about 2030, let alone 2040. This is a really interesting little calculator, though. 20,000 days and counting. The day for change is today, and it's more simple than you realize. Most people sleepwalk through day-to-day life, passively letting time slip away. Unfortunately, the only thing that can usually wake people up to the intensity of life is impending death. But what if it didn't have to be that way? 20,000 days presents breathtakingly simple strategies and concepts that, once applied, will enable readers to be 100% present and intentional with every passing minute of every day for the rest of their lives. The book is designed to be read in under an hour, and the effect is immediate. Within each segment are tactics for mastering control of your life. Principles such as motivation is a myth, okay? If you only had two choices, yes and no. How to conquer rejection forever. That one might be helpful. How becoming the problem will solve all your problems. How becoming the problem will solve all your problems. 3 sentences that will change your life immediately. These timeless principles apply to everyone from the pending graduate to the seasoned business professional, from the time-starved parent to the weary pastor, to the relentless entrepreneur. On the 20,000th day of his life, the author sent an email that inspired and reminded a group of people of all ages to live in the moment. This group now includes you. This feels like a chain letter. This feels like a chain letter from the late 1990s that somebody turned into a book. Robert D. Smith has overseen the career of New York Times bestselling author Andy Andrews for more than 3 decades. He has also served as a private consultant to numerous bestselling authors, speakers, entertainers, and organizations, educating them on the methods he has employed throughout his career. Okay. If you only buy one book this year, do not make it... This is a 5-star review. If you only buy one book this year, do not make it 20,000 days and counting. One isn't enough. The succinct wisdom and actionable items in this book require that you share this information with others. Oh, so it's saying buy more of this book. It's a really awkward way to start it. There's a lot of 5-star reviews. Here's a 3-star review. I bought this book used, and I'm so glad I did not buy a new one. I expected it to have some really huge things to say. It really pretty much just told me things I already knew. We don't live forever. Make your days count. Be useful to those who are around you, and tell them you love them. If you need someone to tell you that you aren't going to live forever and make each moment count and be grateful for your life and those who are on this journey with you, then buy this book. If you already know these things, then don't. Okay. Interesting. Like Zark's ... You're apparently 334 days older than me, which is less than a year, which is confusion. Well, what 1980 were you born in, Peter? Was it 1981 more than mine? I'm 100% the problem. If you do not forward this to 17 friends, you'll be super unlucky for 70 years. Some of the self-help material feels like cash grabs. Yes, 1981 more than mine. For sure. That is correct. Yeah, I just can't help thinking that this felt like a 1990s chain letter. I do like the how becoming the problem will solve all of your problems. Like, all this time I've been trying to not be the problem when I should have just been the problem. I'm gonna take a quick break. One last quick break. We're gonna do a couple more of these threads, and then I am going to I'm gonna wrap up for the afternoon. We'll drop in on Ghost Pepper, but I will be back for probably another like 20 minutes or so. So BRB. I keep talking about this dinner I'm planning to make. I almost forgot I need to thaw beef in order to actually cook it. So I finally took the beef out of the freezer. Step 1. Well, Peter, thank you for sharing. Have you read the book? Is that why you were aware of that? Or did you just kind of find the age calculator thing and and think it was cool? I'm curious how becoming the problem solves all of the problems, in all honesty. Just Googled how long have I been alive, and that was the first result. Interesting. You could take that. So Google has a has time conversions for like days to seconds. So you could take that number of days that you've been alive and you could plug that in to the days to seconds and you could find out how many seconds you've been alive or like how many minutes. If you want some really mind-blowing numbers. I could be very specific because I know I was born at 5:58. Yeah, exactly. If you wanna really blow people's minds, just be like, I am this many seconds old. It's probably somewhere in the millions. And then I'll be like, oh wait, seconds. Ooh, this has a little bit of a little bit frayed there. Born, escaped is more the right term. was self-yeeted. Did you self-yeet from the wound, Peter? Is that what you're saying? You were just like, get me out of here and into that big bright world out there. No, don't get tangled. Why are the greens like this? Although the yellows were a bit like this too. Got through most of the reds without any difficulties, and then although apparently becoming the problem solves the problem, so how do I become the knot in order to unknot the threads forever? How do I become the tangle? A whole month late, apparently. Interesting. All I know about my birth is that I was born during a tornado. So there was a tornado happening and my mother had to drive to the hospital while that was happening. And I'm a Gemini, so do with that what you will. No, it's not it again. God dang it. Why must you do this? Why must the greens be like this? Can I get this big enough where I can just sort of... There we go. Not have to pull everything through it? I know more about my birth than I'd like to. When I was young, I was repeatedly told 58 minutes dry birth with 6 stitches, and when you're an adult, you understand those things. Yeah. You have to know that I was born... Okay, well, I was born during a tornado. Now you know, and I'm a Gemini. And I think my moon sign is Scorpio. Which apparently your horoscope becomes like 20 times more accurate if you know both your sun sign and your moon sign. I'm not really sure how that works, but so I am Gemini sun, Scorpio moon. I'm married to a Taurus. I don't know my husband's moon sign. I've never been enterprising enough to look that up. Though it would be amusing if I did look it up and tell him what his moon sign was, because then he would just be like, yep, okay. Now I know that as a thing about me. I don't take horoscopes super seriously, but I think they're fun and interesting to consider and talk about. Although I don't know if Gemini and Taurus are usually considered. Yeah, well, you have to, so I can't just plug it in, unfortunately. I don't know his exact hour of birth. So what I'd have to do is look up, I'd have to look up midnight and 11:59 on his date of birth to see if it changed. Mine did not change. The whole day of June 1st, 1980, the one I was born in, is the same moon sign, so that's how I know my moon sign. But it's a little bit more complicated than what's the date of your birth? So yeah. But because you know that you were born at 5:58, it's easy for you to determine what your moon sign is. I don't know what time I was born. I just know there was a tornado. That was what I heard about my birth, was that there was a tornado. That was what I got constantly reminded about. Like, just so you know, there is a tornado the day you were born, and we had to drive to the hospital, and the police are like, you're not supposed to be on the roads. But I was like, I'm having a baby. And they were like, all right then. You do that. Or some such. Whatever police say in a situation like that. Whatever the police say to a expectant mother when they're driving to the hospital in a tornado. A tornado implies the existence of a tornadius. I mean, were you around when we were talking about the fact that they're making a sequel to the Twister movie, apparently? They're making a movie called Twisters. I'm assuming that it's like a sequel to Twister, but it looks like the exact opposite of the original movie, which was about like figuring out how tornadoes work. This one looks like it's about like thrill chasers. Haunted by a devastating encounter with the tornado, Kate Cooper gets lured back to the open plains by her friend Javi to test... Is it Javi? To test the groundbreaking new tracking system. She soon crosses paths with Tyler Owens, a charming but reckless social media superstar who thrives on posting his storm-chasing adventures. As storm season intensifies, Kate, Tyler, and their competing teams find themselves in a fight for their lives as multiple systems converge over central Oklahoma. Like, the first movie was about creating an early warning system that would, like, warn people. Is Twister's 2024 real? Like, the first movie was about, you know, creating an early warning system and understanding tornadoes better. Like, they had a reason to be out there chasing the storms. I don't like the idea of them being like, yeah, storm chase for the thrill of it. I was there for that. I don't think I was there for that, but I had a conversation with someone about it, and I was like, this is personal. Like Jaws 2, it's taken the 20-odd years for this tornado to strike back. It's bided its time, it's planned and schemed. It just seems like such the opposite of the first movie in every way. Like the people... They talked about, like, how Bill Paxton's character was, like, wild in his youth, and he did, like, all this, like, stuff. Like, crazy storm chasing stuff, but, like, they weren't necessarily out there chasing storms for the thrill of it. They were, like, trying to do science. Like, to me, there's a distinction between we're out here trying to do science and we're out here because it's getting us views on TikTok. Well, and I don't know, like, it has to be a sequel somehow because they showed the Dorothy machine in the trailer, so it's like, clearly this is meant to be like a sequel. Clearly this is meant to evoke, like it's supposed to harken back to the first movie. But the premise is so opposite of the first movie in just about every way. Like, yeah, all the people who were doing the storm chasing in the first movie, like, they were all a little bit crazy and they all had their reasons for, like, being out there and being in the storm and doing, like, what they were doing. But they also, like, they weren't just doing it for fun. They were scientists. They were trying to understand, like, and they were working for a lab. They had, like, a reason to be doing everything that they were doing. And the idea that the sequel to that movie is, we're gonna go anchor ourselves in the middle of a tornado because it will get us YouTube views? Like, what? Because you just know after this movie comes out, some idiot's gonna try that, if they haven't already. Sometimes I hate that we live in this, like, world where people see something on social media and they're like, or they see something in the movies and they're like, I'm gonna do that. Because if they can do it in the movie, I can do it in real life. And then they get themselves hurt. Like, I know that storm chasers are real. Like, there are people who do chase storms just for the thrill of it. Like, I know that that's a real thing. I don't think we should be glorifying them in movies. Like I said, at least in the first movie, they had, like, scientific reasons. Like, there's even that really famous line from Bill Paxton's character where he's like, this guy went out and got himself corporate sponsorship. He's in it for the money, not the science. And it's like... They were very adamant about the fact that they were, like, doing what they were doing because they were trying to help people. And, like, the movie showed the devastation of tornadoes and, like... But, I don't know, the trailer for the new one felt like... Well, first of all, after they played the trailer, I leaned over to Ghost Pepper and I was like, that looks terrible. Like, it does not look like a good movie. But the more I think about it, I'm just like, I really hope that's not... I really hope that they're not gonna, like, undermine the entire first movie. Especially if she's supposed to be, like, the daughter of, like... They didn't indicate any, like, personal connection with the first movie, aside from the Dorothy machine, but it's like... You just know that she's probably gonna be, like, the daughter or something. Like, Bill Paxton's daughter. I am the guy who 100% unironically wants to eat lava, so I have 0 room to comment. Peter, no, don't eat lava. Stay with us. It just looked like a really, like, I remember when Twister first came out, and it's like a classic. That movie is like a classic. It's not high art, or anything. But, like, that was one of the movies that we, like, watched on all of our school trips, and, like... There is actual science in it, and, like, it's not just... I don't know. It's one of those movies that I go back and watch a lot because it feels like... Shit. Where did my end go? Like, there's not a ton of plot in that movie, and a lot of it is basically them just driving around trying to trying to insert something in front of a tornado and not get killed in the process. But it's like, it wasn't supposed to be a movie about, like, thrill seeking. It wasn't supposed to be a movie about a bunch of people doing crazy shit because they found it fun. What have I done? This is not going well. Shit. I've done it now. I rewatched it a couple years ago. It's one of those movies that I'm always up for a rewatch of Twister. It's got a really good soundtrack. I mean, I'm dating myself in saying that because it's, you know, it's got a, like, 1990s soundtrack. But it's a good movie. It's not like they pumped it full of like science or anything. It's not like it was an educational movie, but like it certainly didn't feel like a bunch of people who were just out there chasing tornadoes for the sake of chasing tornadoes, like the new movie feels like. The pre-credit scene will be someone who's supposed to be Bill Paxton, but we never see his face and he gets yeeted by a tornado, and then we see his weird CGI recreation before he gets blown away. I hope not. Lord, I hope not. I'd be great at fighting a tornado. Peter, why do you want to do all these dangerous things? Stay inside where it's safe. Life is short and old-timey boxing is hilarious. I'm not sure if it'd be as hilarious if you did it with a tornado. Gotta be honest. But yeah, in a way it feels like they're taking like a classic movie from my childhood and destroying it so that they can, I don't know, cash in on the nostalgia bucks. Like, this is definitely a... Like, the target audience for this movie cannot possibly be today's youths. This has to be a let's remake a new Twister because people will go crazy for the nostalgia of the original Twister movie. But let's subvert everything that movie was about, apparently. Not that I think, like, old movies are sacred or anything, but I don't know. If you're gonna do a sequel to one, at least, like, keep it in the spirit of the original movie? Ringwolf, hello. I guess it is a sequel. I guess it is a sequel, but it's a horrible sequel, though. It's, like, undermining everything. I mean, thank goodness it's not a remake, because... But it sounds like just such a horrible premise for, like, a sequel to Twister. I'll be honest, I probably won't see it because it didn't look appealing to me at all when we saw the trailer in the movie theater. It was just basically like... I literally leaned over to Ghost Pepper and was like, this sounds terrible. Alright, we're gonna do one more of these, and then I am going to go eat some potato salad. So we're gonna do one more. I am going to close up everything so that I don't get tempted to keep doing this, because this is the sort of thing that I could literally do for hours on end. But I need to remember to eat some food. So we are moving to the end of the like yellow shade greens, and then next time I work on this, I will get into the more green, like deep green shades. So here we go. We're basically filling up one of these little squares here. And then I'll go eat some food. I love the Ursula mug, and I love potato salad. Heck yeah, me too. I think my gripe is that they're taking a classic old movie and banking on it, but subverting the message of it. It's like they tried to revive the Mummy series, but they made it too serious. Like, the new Mummy movie with Tom Cruise wasn't bad in any way. It was fine, but it didn't have what made the original series like a classic, because the Brendan Fraser one had a charm. It had a like not taking itself seriously. Yes, we saw the Mummy movie with Tom Cruise. It wasn't bad. It was an action movie. But the problem with it is that it fundamentally misunderstood what made everyone love the original Mummy, like the first two Mummy movies. And what was great about The Mummy and The Mummy Returns, it was a continuation. It was a completely different mummy. It was a lady mummy, first of all, so it was like a different mummy from a different like portion of culture. It had like a different lore associated with it. It was supposed to revive this series, but it wasn't supposed to replace it. But the thing is, the original Mummy movie was so good because it had a lot of humor. It wasn't a very serious movie. It didn't take itself really seriously. If you go back and rewatch the like Brendan Fraser Mummy movies, the plot is actually pretty ridiculous. Like, it's not high art, but the movies have a charm because they didn't take themselves seriously. They were fun and funny. They were visually appealing. They told a story, an interesting story, but you weren't necessarily supposed to take it super seriously. And I think that's where like the new series really fails, is that it was trying to be super serious. It was trying to because Tom Cruise doesn't really do comedy stuff, let's be honest, except for Tropic Thunder. Which I'm actually really shocked that he did. So it just didn't have that same atmosphere. It didn't have the same tone and feeling of the original Mummy movies. And it shows a lack of understanding of why those movies were popular and why people enjoyed them. He seems like such a good dude. Did you ever see Bedazzled with him and Liz Hurley as the devil? Like Brendan Fraser? No, I don't think I ever did, but Brendan Fraser is a really good dude. He stopped acting for a while because he was treated very poorly by the studio, by Warner Brothers studio, and he needed time to recover his health, after some of the stuff that they made him do. But he has started to come back to the screen, which is lovely. It's nice to see him doing things again, and being out and about, because from what I understand, he is a very lovely gentleman. One of the few actors who is not, like, totally full of himself. Nobody else with Brendan Fraser can make those movies work. Brendan Fraser had, I mean, let's not say it was 100% just him. I mean, the writing team and the director would have had a lot to do with it too. But 100%, like, that tone, that atmosphere that, like, Brendan Fraser brought to those movies was a lot of their success. And I just don't think you could ever replicate that with Tom Cruise. If you wanted to, like, revive the Mummy series, Tom Cruise was just, like, the wrong person to pick, in my opinion. Because he just does serious stuff, and, like, those movies were never really meant to be serious. Hey, Tal, how's it going? Yes, we are, unfortunately, this is the last thread that we are doing for today, but we have done all of these so far. And I will be back tomorrow morning doing more of this. But we are currently organizing some of my new thread that I got. We did some cross-stitching earlier. I was hoping to end stream with more cross-stitching, but because I messed up and had to pull out like 20 minutes worth of work, we won't get back to it, unfortunately. But we will do more cross-stitching tomorrow. 100p. Stupid time difference. I know. Well, and did you guys change your clocks yet? Because I think we might have been closer in time for a hot minute, and then we changed, because we already changed our clocks. So the time difference might be even wonkier than usual. I want a road trip movie with Brendan Fraser and Rick Moranis playing father and son, like properly funny comedy. That would be hilarious. We changed on the 7th. Oh, wow. You guys changed quite late. We did ours a week and a half ago, so... Which, on the plus side, means I'm adjusted to the new time, but... Man, I wish that we would just keep this time forever. Tal is in Australia. I'm pretty sure I'm allowed to say that. So, very, very future for us. Tal knows what the future looks like. I am trying desperately to keep this one from tangling the way the last one did, but I am not having the most success. There we go. Guess I should, like, completely unravel them before I start putting them onto the thing. It's just like... But then I end up just sitting in, like, a tangle of thread, and I don't necessarily want to do that. Man, I could literally just do this all day. I mean, I need to eat. I'll probably do another square of them later tonight, so we'll do this square tomorrow on stream. We'll probably still be... There's a lot of greens, so we will either be on the tail end of the greens or into the turquoises tomorrow when we get back to this. I'd like to get at least, like, halfway through doing these over the break, but I definitely won't finish all 150 in a week. Especially because I promised my D&D group I would do some planning so that we could resume our D&D sessions. Hopefully sometime next month. So we'll see how that goes. I need to... I have ideas. I just need to get, like, maps together and load them into Roll20 and set it up so that everything goes smoothly on the day. And I have a new mechanic that I want to use for my D&D crew, so I have to get that set up so that they are... So that I can explain it in a way that makes it Understandable. There we go. I'll label this one. Currently 8:21 a.m. on Thursday. Dang! It is 2:24 p.m. on Wednesday here. And that means it is way past potato salad time. Ghost Pepper is gonna yell at me for not eating sooner. Right now, you are being the unstoppable OCD force meets the immovable ADHD object. I did really want to finish. I gotta admit, I should have stopped earlier, but I really wanted to finish this square. So, and I still had coffee. Like, I'm just now finishing my coffee. But I am going to be well able to do a raid and dip to go get lunch because we are going to go drop in on my lovely husband, Ghost Pepper. He is playing, I believe, Helldivers with some of our friends who have that game. I do not have that game because it's not my jam. I almost think I might be able to fit, for the first time... maybe not. Just because I can get my finger in there doesn't mean I can get another... Ooh, but I might be able to get another one in there. Danger. Danger, Will Robinson. Can I fit one more in all of them? If I'm enterprising? I guess I can. Guess I can. I will save that information. I will save that knowledge for another day, perhaps. Maybe once I have... maybe once I have enough of them filled in to rearrange them. But yeah, we are gonna go drop in on my lovely husband, Ghost Pepper. He is playing Helldivers with some friends of ours. Oh, he's playing with our in the real world GM right now. That's good to know. So we are gonna go say hey to him, mostly because we almost never stream at the same time. Whoops. Can't stay because Toby has an appointment, but have a great time. So good to see you, Tal. I'll be back tomorrow morning doing more of this if you want to come and chill with us. I hope the appointment goes smoothly. And, I mean, I hope that it's just a checkup, but I hope it goes smoothly and well and that all is good. I will be back tomorrow morning with more of this. If you found any of this remotely exciting, we'll be doing this again tomorrow. And then next week, I will be back to writing. We will be working on No One's Beloved Sister and Aravalia Chronicles, and we are going to make the book cover for Each One's Wayward Niece, which is book 2 in Everyone's Child. So we're going to make the book cover. It will hopefully go smoother than the last time because I actually know what concept I'm going for now. It's a 3-hour autism assistant. Oh my goodness. Good luck. I hope it goes smoothly, and I hope it's not, like, the most endless 3 hours. But yeah, that's what I will be up to for the next little while. Say hi to Ghost Pepper, my lovely husband, my wonderful husbando, and take care of yourselves. Remember to eat, sleep, drink, all that stuff, which I am gonna go do now. You're amazing. Thank you all for hanging out with me, and I'll see you again very soon.
Down mortar.